Well, good day, viewers, and welcome back to another banger episode of In the Mix. Well, before I do start off with anything else, I would just like to let everyone know that today is International Women's Day, and we are making sure on In the Mix to send out love to the wonderful women that are out there. And on the show itself, we have to do that. I mean, we have to show love to the women that are out there. But before we do get to that, I first have to introduce my right-hand man. That's the man, the myth, the legend, as per usual, Jesse Jackson Kauraisa, that is always with me in studio. Jesse, how are you doing?
Well, Brian, thank you for that introduction. I think I'm getting flattered by it right now. But anyways, it is wonderful, as you alluded to, International Women's Day being it originally tomorrow, but today I'm sure they are celebrating it, obviously, and the concept, one of the concepts of the show today will speak more about women's football, and that's why we have Julien Garises here, somebody that spearheaded the development of women's football, somebody that was the first female in the NFA, male-dominated executive. So here she is. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for having me.
Well, Julian, like Jesse alluded, it's International Women's Day, so tomorrow. So it just makes sense that on the show, apart from the bride, we have a woman up here, a legend like yourself, to just join us in studio to just break down an exciting weekend, as you all know that sports is back in Namibia, Jesse.
Yes, definitely. To break that down and also give us an insight on how it was that Julien actually came about to spearhead women's football.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting chats today. Before we do get into it, before we do jump into our first segment and we discuss what's happening this weekend, Jesse, what do we have for the snack today? What is our snack for today?
It's a slap chat.
It's what?
Slap chat, or what is it? What did you say?
Jesse will always, I think this is always my favorite part of the show. It just shows that, guys, this hetero friend of mine is not in these things of you guys that you guys like bringing up. But well, okay.
What do you call this?
What we do have for today is we have flapjacks.
Oh.
Not slapjacks, flapjacks. So we have them with a bit of grapes, and they have been drizzled with a bit of golden syrup. So we are going to be diving into those shortly, but we'll be going for a short break and we'll be back with the action as we get right into it.
Imagine something so ahead of its time. It was designed to fit in with a future that hasn't happened yet.
Scott.
That future is here. Get it.
Okay, so I think all the sports spectators, people who love sports, are going to be very excited for this weekend. Jesse, you most probably are going to be at the women's games over the weekend?
Definitely, I'm going to be there, and these matches are already starting today with an interesting one, which is Ongo's Ladies FC playing against Beauties FC. I mean, these teams have been at each other's throats for the past few seasons. One of the top two women teams in the country, and they are facing off tonight. That is at the technical center, which has been renamed now, definitely, but it is a game to watch, or the game of the weekend in terms of women's football.
Well, like you said, Ongo's defending champions, Beauties FC, the team that's on top of the table right now. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for Ongo's to win the season this year with how Beauties are showing up. But if you guys look at the screen with that, those are the fixtures that we do have lined up for you for the weekend, starting off with women's football that's scheduled to take place on Friday starting today, and then we have a couple of games tomorrow as well. I do not want to waste time. I want to get right into it. We also have the top score matches that are kickstarting this weekend. We do not have a team there. I think a top score team, in the mixed team with Jesse as a striker. Were you a striker in football? How were you?
Yes, I used to play as a winger and as a striker, so it's a combination of both. But sometimes I would take over and even go behind if the team is not defending well. So I was that kind of player that actually just was determined to do everything
get the
on
win.
the pitch and to leave it out all there.
Okay, now is the skill still there? Do you still think you can maybe deliver for a team that plays in the top score 7 aside, if we have to maybe enter a team?
Brian, I've eaten a lot of meat in a raw location, but yes, I still feel my body is still fresh for me. Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, we have a lot of games to be looking forward to this weekend. Top Score just came out with a wonderful announcement that the Top Score League is back in action. This is the 21st season. They started the tournament in 2001 and they have about 71 teams. A wonderful sponsorship from them again, 152,700 that they did sponsor to the tournament. They have more than 71 teams in the league. I think 8 groups. In each group, they have about 9 teams or 8 teams, as you can see on the screen there. Jesse, just looking at it quickly, which group do you think should be maybe a group to look out for? My interests are in Group H. Letseho Holdings, those guys that always keep people's money. Those guys are very dangerous when it comes to football. I've seen them play before. NBC have also entered the team. And we can see that Namco has also entered one of their teams there with Noodles, Namib Mills Noodles in Group H.
Well, Brian, the interesting part in those fixtures that you can see there is Group C. There is a team called Kasongo FC. It will be very interesting for me because it has been a trending thing, and it's for the first time that I'm hearing of that team, so I'm interested in watching it. Julien, I'm sure you have followed some Top Score 7 aside before. So what team?
What interests you on those teams there?
You see, football is played by everyone, and Top Score encourage those who have retired, like you guys.
Yeah.
So Brian can decide that today, let's put together a team of, you can count on sub and Top Score to go and play Top Score. But generally, it's always good to have this kind of programs because it keeps us going as a nation. You stay away from doctors. So any team that has decided to play, I will support because it gives life to those who have memories only. But now we decided, because remember when you go home, if Jesse tells us today he has played right wing and forward, and then the kids at home wants to know, then he can say, okay, let's go to Top Score. Yeah. Then he go into a team, whether it's Nambo, Telecom, whatever team, and he try to play. Then the boy at home will say, okay, he always tell me, let me go and play, but look here.
Yeah.
The general. Look here.
He's falling out. He's falling left, right, and center.
Yeah, but it's good. It's always good. It's team building for companies. You must encourage any team, so you guys are behind. You must get your team in this tournament because it's team building. You also learn other things that you don't know from anyone among you guys. You only know the work part, and then maybe here and there when you go out together. But when you're on the field of play, you will hear stories because when you play sport, there is so many stories to tell.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of sports, definitely. Well, before we do go for the short break, I think this is why we are mostly very excited about the 1.5 million that's on the table for the Maris Cup with the semi-finals coming. We do have a promo video, so please do stay tuned as we'll be having a look at the video that just explains who is in the semi-finals, who's taking on who. So please do stay tuned. We'll have a look at that shortly. But Jesse, before we do look at the video, you said your money is on African Stars to get through.
Yes, Brian. I think it's on African Stars. They are definitely the favorites. They are the cup kings. They have been winning trophies. I mean, like left, right, and center. But obviously, we'll discuss that more. I also want to see what you have in the kitchen, Brian.
Okay, well, guys, we'll have a look at the quick video, and we'll be back after that.
After a heated quarterfinal, the MTC Maris Cup semi-final is headed to Mariental. Join us on the 8th of March 2025 at the Mariental Sports Stadium for the semi-finals, where the Clever Boys, UNAM Football Club, will take on Yangile, Young African Football Club. Meanwhile, the Tura Boys, Bucks Buccaneers Football Club, will face off against Stalile, African Star Football Club, in another thrilling matchup. Come support your favorite team as they battle for the 1.5 million Namibian dollar winner-takes-all grand prize. Tune in to NBC2 to watch all games live. Entrance is free, provided that you are signed up for MTC Maris. All transactions at the stadium will be done via MTC Maris. So dial *140*682# to top up your Maris wallet now. See you there.
Well, viewers, I think we have all been waiting for this moment. Let me first start off with a confession before I do introduce her. So, what happened is last week, a lot of people were going on about the fact that we made very delicious, very nice, braai rolls with steak and chakalaka. Guys, just so you guys know, this is a disclaimer. I didn't come up with that recipe. So that recipe didn't come from me. She just gave me the recipe, and that's how the recipe became to be. But it was nonetheless a very beautiful recipe. All I'm saying is you guys can be excited and look forward to a lot of wonderful recipes on the show, because now we have Patricia, who will be taking over the whole braai thing, and she'll be running it from now on. So Patricia, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm nervous, but I'm good. It's a good nervous.
It's a good nervous.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all very excited for you to be on the show. It's International Women's Day tomorrow, and it's only right we introduce you on the show at the right time.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Okay, cool. So what Patricia is going to be doing from now on is she's going to be the guest. She's going to be the host on this side of the table. You guys are not going to be seeing me ever again on this side. This was my last time, and I've been doing it this whole month.
I'm relieving you of your duties here, Brian.
Thank you so much. I've been running out of... The creativity is not there, guys. So we are happy to have her on the show and have her join us. So tell us, for your first episode on In the Mix, right before International Women's Day, what can we have? What can we expect for lunch? Or what can we expect to go on the grill for today?
Okay, so I wanted to keep it simple and easy for everyone to make. So it's called a boerewors submarine, but to bring it down to earth more, it's just a fancy hot dog, basically.
Okay.
So what makes this a fancy hot dog is the boerewors marinated overnight, and it's just not going to be slapped on to the bread. And it's not just bread chins. We decided to use some of the French bread. So these
I
long
saw.
French bread that
It's
you
a
always
very long-
see in the movies. We're going to be using that.
Interesting.
And then just to bring a little bit of flavor, we're going to get some diced tomatoes, onions, and some lettuce there, and just make it pretty. Yeah.
That sounds very nice. Cool. My question is, are we cutting it on top or are we cutting it on the
And
side?
on the side, because
Okay,
it still
cool.
needs to close up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know how Jesse feels. Jesse, I hope you like boerewors. I don't know if that counts as meat for you, but then should we start with the preps or?
You can, but one thing I have to mention is I kind of like chili things, so I took like a chili boerewors. I hope you guys, your taste palettes are
What is chili?
quite there. It's a bit spicy, not really. It's like chakalaka wors, but
Okay,
not that bad.
not that bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're safe if you were worried. You're safe.
So you're saying it's a quick recipe, it's nothing too long.
Nothing too long. It's just braaiing the wors. You gotta toast the bread as well, just a little bit on the fire, so it's nice and crispy. But it's easy. If it's your first time braaiing, I would suggest that you can also just tackle on this recipe. It's quite simple, really.
Okay, well guys, you heard it from Patricia. And if you guys want to go back to last week and say, okay, you want to make the steak roll shandy yourself, you want to operate yourself, all you have to do is 085-785-6231. Save that number. First and foremost, go to WhatsApp and send the text hashtag
In the mix.
in the mix, and then after that you get all these pop-ups of previous shows, food recipes, and then you guys can dive in. But for us, I think we can start. I don't know how my
So-
skills are with the cutting.
It's just chopping, Brian. I'm sure you understand. I'm going to
Okay.
give you the onions. I'm not about to cry on my first episode.
Okay.
So you just want sliced. So the
Sliced.
rings. You want onion rings.
Okay.
We're going to do the same with the tomatoes, and then later going to do that. So let me just. So this is our boerewors. It's been marinating all night in some barbecue sauce. So we will put that on the fire later, and then I will chop this for us.
Does this qualify as rings?
Yes, I guess it does. I usually make half rings because it's easier
Okay.
to put on. But if you want a full grown ring, it's up to you.
Okay, cool. Well, before we do go to the other side of the world, just tell us, how often do you braai, and what can the viewers expect in the kitchen from you?
I'm not the world's best braaier, but I'm also opening to learning.
Okay.
You know, I'm surrounded by my dad and my brother, and I have a lot of nephews and cousins that love the braai stand and friends. So I'm always there in the background observing. I've been there a few times mastering or trying to master it.
Okay.
But if anything, In the Mix is a place where we learn new skills every day and we learn new things. So the viewers can expect to see me grow as a braaier.
Okay, okay, that's very well said. So you guys are going to be on this journey with her. You guys are going to learn how she braais, and you guys can also pick up some tips. We'll be going for a short break, and then we'll hear from Jesse what his thoughts are on the meal that we're having today.
like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go.
Imagine something so ahead of its time. It was designed to fit in with a future that hasn't happened yet.
Great Scott.
That future is here. Get it.
Well, Brian, guess what? I do love boerewors. Anything that has meat in it, for me, obviously is my go area. Well, but before we speak about the guest I am here with, that is Julien Garises. We have already introduced into the show a lady that has done a lot for Namibian football. Speaking of women's football, the Windhoek City Carmen has appointed Carmen Rene Enderhoff as their president, obviously from South Africa. How do you think about that?
You see, Jesse, one thing I believe in is if a woman has the ability to change not only the game, any activity in life, and she comes with that experience, we must allow her to be. It is a great time, the time that only the general belief was you must be in the kitchen, you must take care of the kids. That is gone. There are so many women that is excelling in different platforms of programs in government, whether it's private sector. And we are on our road to have a first female president. So whenever a woman came through, she must come with credentials. That is important. That's where we can, the footprints are taking us far. Because it says this person will come and change and you will learn from this person.
Well, Julien, thank you so much. And this leads me directly into my next question. Your journey. I mean, I already gave the introduction about how you spearheaded women football, being the first female lady in the executive of the NFA, a male-dominated area. How did you do this?
What happened was, you see, we did not have this TV and things, these programs that even Joe Mix was not there. Now, there was a program on NBC, 30 minutes program, was called Gillette World Sports. It was 1991. We were watching sports, and then they show us the final of women's football. Women's football played at this level. It was me, Mimi Kengos, and Maguka. And then that's where we said, let's go out and start women's football. So as they said, the rest is history. But coming, just take you to certain parts. It was not easy. When we start with women's football, there was no China shops. There was no sports shops. When we want to play, we go to Sorondo Box, either of Orlando Pirates, to borrow their jerseys. But then the fact that, remember, when we get our independence, some of the players was born outside, and they were exposed to women's football. It was new to us. We were humiliated. We were called names. But we said, if this can change the lives of people, we will do that. And that's why when we look back in the way Namibia women's football finds themselves, you can just, it's just, when you cry, it's tears of joy. Because what the road we came through was not easy. Serving on the first woman, as the first woman administrator on the EXCO, it was not easy. You need to fight. If you said we have to go and participate, you must explain why. But it is nothing new that we don't plan to go in. That's why we were called 14. We lost 14-0, 7-0. Do you remember that Nigeria did not play with us? As soon as we get Nigeria, we know we are out in any competition. But then things have changed. We have Soccer House, and then we have also the NFS Girls Center. That center was built to identify 20 girls, talented girls from the regions, to be put there, and then also for them to go to school, come back, get their homework done, and then go and play football, train football. That is the aim of that NFL Girls Center. That it has changed to something different. But at the end of the day, if one looks back, so many positive things have happened. We have Women's Super League, something that we only dream of. We have now regional women's football played. We have women playing referees at CAF, FIFA, COSAFA. We have coaches that have that experience now. And the one thing that was my biggest dream was to have at least 4 nations women's football play in Namibia. We end up with Telecom Namibia come on board in 2014. We have AFCON. So that's for me, that is the highlight of what I have contributed, because I also play a role in us to bring that one, because remember, we needed to pay a certain amount.
Yeah.
And now corporate was come on board, and then I go to the MD of Telecom Namibia, Mr. Frans Toroma. He is a sportsman. I said, comrade, you have to come through.
Come through and give us this. And I remember I was there in 2014 when you guys hosted this tournament. Speaking of that tournament, it was the last that Namibia ever played, because we actually qualified by default, since we were the host.
Not default.
We were the host of
Yes.
the tournament.
We hosted.
Yes, we hosted it. But obviously it has been years on and we haven't qualified for the tournament. But Namibia is currently in the mix of things, and we are playing, obviously, that is Zambia in our next round, which can book us a place to Morocco. What do you make of our chances as a team?
You see, if you look at the team that we are having, the experience they are having, there is no excuse. We know Zambia is one of the top 3 countries in southern, in SADC. COSAFA countries when you talk about our region, but also one of the countries who have best exports in Europe. But always our downfall is how we prepared. If we don't, we went to Swaziland, Eswatini. We beat them 3-1, and we played the other game in South Africa, we beat them 1-0. We came with that positiveness, but how are we going to prepare against? Remember, Zambia caused us to go to Morocco last time.
Yes.
They are again in our path.
Yeah.
How are we going to deal with this demon in our life?
Right.
So the best thing is, for me, if we have money, let's pull 30 players, put them in this. We are playing October, maybe September. We take this team to South Africa, put them high performance center. Let them play. The universities have good players, good teams. Did you see them on TV? The clubs also, there's good, great players. And also their youth teams. We can play against them. We need to prepare for Zambia to beat them.
Well, Julien, I know you have so much to talk about in terms, and I can feel the passion. It's quite wonderful. One last question before we go, that is to a short break where Brian and Javon Wilson will give us some of the betting slips of the weekend. I just want to know, have you mentored or actually developed somebody that will replace you in this women's football circle?
You see, in women's football, that Jegi Sibanga, Jegi Gerte come from me. You have Bandu Pietres. Yeah. There's the players that play under me and that we give the responsibility to take over.
Well, thank you so much. We will now go for a break, and after that, we'll hear that is from Brian Munango.
Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go.
Well, like Jesse said, he's very excited for the food that we are making in the kitchen. But that was a very interesting chat to listen to between Jesse and Julien. Tell us more about how they were watching football in 1991, 92. I don't think I was alive back then. I was still Dangasa, and maybe just a thought. But like, once again, like we said, it's Friday. We are very excited. There are big games to look forward to. And with me, as per usual, to just break down the weekend games. I don't think we've had luck yet. But this weekend, hear me out. Javon, how are you doing, brother?
Pretty well. I'm having some of this slapjacks, as Jesse would say. No, International Women's Day, I would like to say a special shout out, obviously, to my wife and to all the wonderful ladies there at JSB Sports Betting that make sure that the punters are sorted with their bets and with their deposits.
Okay, now the ladies here?
And obviously the ladies here in the crew as well, yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to say that, but anyways.
Okay, talk to me. Champions League. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's see. We saw you saw the results. We saw some shocking results in the Champions League. I think for me the biggest shock has to be Arsenal. That 7-1 win was very, very dramatic. But yeah, looking at the fixtures, which games excited you the most? And going into the second leg,
Obviously, the standout is the Premier League team is doing so well. Just shows the strength that the Premier League sides have in the Champions League. 7-1 was quite remarkable there. Liverpool also just clinching it. It's a controversial match there. I mean, Inter Milan, they are my favorites. Personally, I like them very much, yeah.
Okay.
I think they can go all the way. I think one of the shock results for me personally was Leverkusen going 3-0 down to Bayern Munich. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough for Leverkusen to come back, even though they're playing at home in the next fixture. But I think it's all done and dusted in that match, same as Inter. But the other games, same as Arsenal as well. I think that game is written off. And perhaps Villa going back. I mean, Asensio is doing pretty well there. Yeah, 2 times Champions League winner. Just shows his expertise and his knowledge and his experience in that competition. Okay,
looking at the results, Siobhan, do you see any upsets? Like, for example, Atletico Madrid still have to play Madrid at their house, only needing a goal. And then looking at the likes of Dortmund, I don't know what to make of that game, but I personally feel Lille is beating Dortmund in the second fixture. Inter Milan done and dusted. Liverpool, Paris, PSG don't want to go to Anfield trailing. That's what I believe personally. And then, like you said, Bayern Munich, it's going to be too much of a big mountain for Leverkusen to climb. And Benfica going back to Santiago Bernabeu.
You mean the Camp Nou?
Camp Nou, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like another tough task.
Correct. I agree with you there. I do feel, if I had to pick an upset with some value, that Atletico Madrid could possibly knock Real Madrid out of the Champions League. It's going to be extremely difficult, though. But at the same breath, I'm telling you now, Real Madrid are going to find it difficult at Atleti's home. The crowd, the intensity of Diego Simeone. I know the players will be fired up for that one. So if, as a punter myself, I'll put some money on Atleti.
I disagree with you, Jeff. I think out of all the teams you could have gone for, the kings of the Champions League are not the teams
I
know,
but you need to look at upsets. But anything is possible. We've seen it a couple of times, numerous times actually, in football. Anything is always possible. Okay,
so before we do get to the upsets, not upsets, but before we do get to the betting tips for the weekend, how we can be making money, the top goal scoring chart looks very interesting. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. We're used to seeing the Ronaldos, the Messis, the Benzemas. Lewandowski is still a part of those strikers in that time. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the top goal scorers in the Champions League? I mean, Serhou Guirassy playing for Dortmund. I think he plays for Guinea as the top goal scorer in the Champions League.
Yeah, well done to our African brother over there. Hopefully they can go all the way and he can clinch that top scorer award. I think Rafinha also is having an outstanding season with Barcelona, and then obviously you have the Lewandowski and Kane consistencies, always scoring, always on the score sheets there. But yeah, I would love for our African brother to win. It depends on what the match is, as you said, against Lille, how far they could possibly go there. If not, they'll probably end up 10, maybe get one more in the next match, 11. But Rafinha, for me, he's been really outstanding. I mean, he's a player that will probably be nominated in the near future for Ballon d'Or.
Looking at how he came from Leeds and how he established himself at Barcelona, I can understand where you are coming from. We had a big winner earlier on in the week. You and I spoke about this. From $10, $11, this person walked away with close to $11,000, $12,000?
Yeah, close to 12. Because as you can see there on your screen,
$11,000 from just $10.
yeah.
Run that through, Javon.
I mean, look at those odds. We're looking at 930 odds, eh?
Pulling that off is crazy. This guy went for Champions League game, 2 PSL games, the obvious games to go for. Stellenbosch taking on Marumo Gallants, Kaiser Chiefs playing Magesi, whatever that team's name is, and then a few championship sides. $10 could win you all this money, guys. This is just to show you that it is possible with JSB Sports Betting. $10, get to 900 odds, and you can win yourself 11,000 easily.
As you can see, it's a cocktail of selections there. It's not just straight wins. He went with goals. He went with goals under. He went with the results, straight wins. I mean, total goals. It's always good to combine different markets into one bet slip. It gives you a better opportunity there. So take your time, analyze some football matches this weekend. Premier League is back once again. So we're looking forward to that massive clash on Sunday at Old Trafford. We'll probably touch on that in a bit. Yeah, so yeah, take a chance and you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, well, since we do not have much time, let's start off with your bet slip for the weekend. I see you went very light on this one. And I actually think because of what I saw on your slip, I'm now reconsidering mine and I don't want to show it anymore, but okay, I'll still show mine. Please run us through your bet slip.
Liverpool, Anfield, playing Southampton. We know Southampton's form in the Premier League this season. I don't need to touch much on that. Aston Villa, I like them. Good form. As we said, Asensio is on fire. Rashford, a couple of others, Bailey and company. I think Aston Villa can clinch it. Although Brentford are doing pretty well. They are doing very well. I do feel Aston Villa can clinch that. With that odds, I'll take that bet.
Spurs. You need to explain Spurs.
Spurs, inconsistent Spurs. We saw in the Europa, they couldn't score against AZ Alkmaar, although they beat the team in the group stages. I do feel that they'll be a little bit stronger for the Bournemouth, especially at home. So for those odds, I'll also take them, and then obviously ending with United and Arsenal. Both teams to score. United always conceding once again in the Europa League against Sociedad. I do feel like United can score. What the result will be, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Well, let's run through mine quickly. Mine, I think, is a bit shorter. I always tend to go a little bit safer than Javon does. So my idea is I'm going with City to beat Nottingham Forest. The odds are stacked up against City. It's not very often that you find City at odds of 1.86 or close to even, you know. So I'm going with Manchester City to get the best of Nottingham Forest. Liverpool. We do have a Southampton fan in the house, by the way.
Oh, we do?
Unfortunately. Yeah, but okay, speaking on Liverpool, I do think Liverpool will get past Southampton very easily. I might change that to a handicap 2-5. So I see at least like a 3-0-4 if they're not careful. And then Brighton against Fulham. Brighton are in very good form. Welbeck just got back into the game. So I think Welbeck will also get a few points for us there. And then Crystal Palace and Ipswich. Mateta is injured, got that head injury, but he's deemed okay by the coach. I'm going to go 2-5 because I'm not sure how that game will go. And I think Delap for Ipswich is always guaranteed to score. So those are my games. 8 odds. But if I'm being honest, I might change my mind and actually go for Javon slip and just maybe tweak it a little bit. And then we'll see how that goes. But prediction, before we do close off with the big announcement that you do have, tell us your prediction for the Manchester United and Arsenal game.
I think there's a lot of goals in that game. I think Arsenal also, well, they definitely will score, considering United's defense. But I do feel like United can perhaps win it at home, although the format doesn't suggest that. I would go with United 2-1.
United 2-1. I'm going to go both teams to score, but I'm going to sit on the fence and say a draw. And yeah, we've been told we're out of time, so just drop us that big announcement.
So tomorrow, quickly, Soccer 13, we have a $21 million pool. Make sure you get your bets in early. And then we have Gimme Another, which is a South African horse taking on the American horses tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. It's 29 minutes to midnight. So big horse, a lot of backing. Whoever can watch it at that time should, and whoever can put some money on, I guarantee that's the tip of the weekend.
Give me another taking on horses in the US. That's going to be very interesting. Well, that's all the time that we do have for you. I hope you guys took down your notebooks and took down some notes. And hopefully you guys can make yourselves some big money this weekend with JSB Sports Betting. From Javon and I, it is goodbye.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
Thank you very much for having me in sports. Wow, a lot of has been happening in the upcoming elections in the Football Association of Zambia. You may wish to know that on 17th February last month, the Football Association of Zambia electoral body did disqualify some candidates that were found to be not have proper documentation as they had submitted their nomination papers. So these candidates, for instance, in the presidential race, there were 8 candidates. So when the electoral body issued the names, they did say that out of 8, only one candidate of the incumbent, Andrew Kamanga, was deemed eligible, and the 8 were disqualified. However, they were told to appeal to the appeals committee from 17th up to the 22nd of February. And these candidates did appeal, and luckily, out of 8 that were disqualified, 5 of them have come back into the race because they have won their appeals. So now the elections for the first president will pit the incumbent Andrew Kamanga and 5 other candidates. The elections are coming up on 29th of March 2025 in the capital, in the tourist capital, Livingstone. What has been happening behind the scenes is that a lot has been said with some candidates that were disqualified, accusing the incumbent of having a hand to ensure that they are banned from contesting the elections. Moving on to my second story, the Copper Queens will battle it out against Namibia in the 2026 WAFCON qualifying the qualifying round. So Zambia, that has already qualified for the 2025 WAFCON, will battle it out against neighbors Namibia to see to it if they can make it 3 times in a row to qualify for the women's biggest soccer showpiece. The likes of Barbara Banda, Rachel Kundananje are expected to lead the Copper Queens in this match that will be played in October this year. It will also be the first time Swiss coach Nora will be taking charge of the Copper Queens in the WAFCON qualifying matches. She has already taken the Copper Queens in 2 friendly matches when Zambia played Malawi, and in the first match, Zambia came out victors 2-0. In the second match, Malawi were the better side, winning that match 3-2. A number of Zambians are hoping that Coach Nora is going to change the playing tactics of the Copper Queens, considering that coming up against Namibia, it may not be an easy game. They need to be at their best to ensure that they qualify to the WAFCON 2026. Thank you very much for having me. This has been Mike Situla in Sports Africa. Good morning to our dear viewers.
Imagine something so ahead of its time. It was designed to fit in with a future that hasn't happened yet.
Great Scott.
That future is here. Get it.
And just like that, we are back in the kitchen. It's starting to sizzle.
I can hear it.
It's starting to sizzle. I took like a young smell earlier, and it smells divine. So we are very excited. I don't know how my bra feels about chili. We had the chili conversation earlier, and
it's not that chili. It's not potent. If you enjoyed the chakalaka last week, then you will enjoy this.
Okay, then I think we are in good hands. Okay, cool. So while the boerewors is sizzling, let's take a minute to reset. People need to know who you are now.
I guess.
And I've been waiting for this moment. So for those that do not know, Patricia is a singer.
Guilty.
Not like in the shower quickly, it's serious singer that's been out of the country with music. So tell us a bit about your music journey. When did it start and how did we get to where we are right now?
So it's always been one of those things where your parents are like, you actually sound nice, but you never took it seriously. Until during COVID, when I was like bored at home and I had nothing to do, my cousin was like, you should come, I have a friend that records, you guys should just do a cover together. We did it and everyone loved the cover. It's still on my social media pages and people still comment, still ask me, like they didn't know I could sing. And since then, I've just been approached by a lot of other Namibian artists to ask them if we can do covers together. Do I want to come and see their studio? People sending me songs saying, you should cover this song. And then in, I think, 2022, one of my family members signed me up for a singing competition without me knowing.
Okay, proud of them.
And I got into the top 20 that get to perform live. I was really mad at them at the moment because I've never performed on a stage before, ever. It was the Cosmos, not the Cosmos, the Canal Sieva talent show.
Okay.
I didn't get anything there. It was my first time. So, but that's where I met my vocal coach.
So what you're saying is COVID was like a blessing and a curse, because why did it take until COVID
I guess you
for
can
you
say
to bring
that,
out the talent?
a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, but why did it take until COVID for you to now?
You know, music
Dive
is one
into
of those
you.
things that you don't really take seriously.
Okay.
When I was like 19 back then, 19, 20 years old, I never really considered a career in music at all.
Okay.
So I never took it seriously. I never thought about I could maybe be a performer, I could maybe make music. It just never crossed my mind.
Okay, well, after it all happened, after your first show at Cosmos thingy, what happened? Doors opened?
Doors opened, really. I got the most recent Voice of Namibia, I came second. So I'm I'm the runner-up for Voice of Namibia. The sizzling.
Okay.
I also went to Los Angeles last year because
just Los Angeles.
Because the year before that, in 2023, I won 7 gold medals at the Namibian Championships, the Performing Arts.
How many?
And then 7. And that made me go to Los Angeles, where I won 2 gold medals and 2 overall championship trophies and a scholarship to go study in New York. Of course, I didn't go because a lot of things had to be considered, but it would have been nice to go, and it was just great to be offered that opportunity to go.
Okay, before we serenade the fans, I mean, I'm sure they're all wondering, can't she sing for us? She won't sing, but she'll sing. But just give it a second. So, winning medals in Los Angeles, a young girl all the way from Namibia. How did that feel? How did it feel being on that stage?
It was amazing because there were about 60 different countries. You were talking about people from the Philippines, Canada, people from Paris coming all over. The Americans were there. Everyone was so talented. You had people from the Netherlands coming, Berlin, everywhere. So having to interact with all those talented people was amazing. And before I went, everyone that was there the previous year was like telling me how difficult it is to get gold, and I shouldn't be sad if I don't get anything. It's just lucky to get a bronze, you know. They were motivating me, but at the same time just trying to keep me level, like down to earth. So when I was called up for a gold medal and then again an overall trophy medal, and these were in the categories of country music and rock music, I was completely shocked. Because I did not expect that.
I would be shocked too. I think I would have been shocked too. But okay, cool. Before we take our voice off, guys, please do stay tuned as we play you a lovely sound clip of her in Los Angeles. Patricia.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love but only now my love is grown. And it gets stronger in every way. And it gets deeper, let me say. And it gets higher day by day. And you, I love you, my oh my. River deep, mountain high, yeah, yeah, yeah. If I lost you, would I cry?
Woo!
Okay, so yeah, I'm sure you guys got goosebumps from that performance. I've heard it already. We've seen it. You know, I'm sure people saw the picture of you and the Lady Gaga thing. Fun fact, I thought she was with the actual Lady Gaga until like 2 months later, where I asked her about it, and I was like, so you took pictures with Lady Gaga? And she's like, no, that's not the real Lady Gaga.
That was a wax figure. But I should have actually just left you to
No,
think that I met Lady
I'm
Gaga.
I'm so glad you brought it up. But okay, so the sizzling is almost done. That
Oh,
means
that looks good.
our boerewors is ready for the
looks really
devouring.
good.
It looks really nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plate this. The sandwich is ready.
Yes, we just gotta put in the tomatoes and the onions, and then we put in our boerewors, we cut it up, and then we're done.
Okay, there you guys heard it from Patricia. It's gonna take 2 minutes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the other side of the table and wait for the food to be brought to that side. So please do stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go.
Your life could change at any second, but you'll never know until you take the chance. With sports betting, number games, and online casino gambling, JSB is your best bet. Will you be Namibia's next instant millionaire? Place your bets easily online at jsbsports.bet or at any JSB location nationwide. We'll take you to the action anywhere, anytime. JSB, where the next instant millionaires come to play. Strictly no under 18s. JSB supports responsible gambling. Winners know when to stop.
The sizzling has been on. The boerewors is ready. Julien, you saw us busy in the kitchen there. So just tell me, what are your thoughts on our lunch for today?
I cannot wait.
You cannot wait.
I cannot wait. The way you have present us with that preparations,
Yeah.
even the boerewors, you nearly let it fall.
Lovely stuff. Well, okay, I made sure, Patricia and I made sure, but you guys can be, personally, I'm very excited for the fact that we have Patricia in the kitchen, because that means it's going to get creative. I'm putting on the spot. She's going to come through with a lot of creativity, and we can look forward to eating a lot of different meals than what we are used to. But to continue the discussion that we were having early on before I went to the other side and then you guys got busy and all of that, the Maris Cup semi-finals are taking place this weekend. There's $1.5 million on the table. One winner walks away with all that money, and we have Bucks Buccaneers that are taking on African Stars, and then we have Young African that are taking on UNAM. Let's start off with Young African and UNAM. Julien, who do you think is advancing and getting closer to that 1 million after this weekend?
You see, with Young Africans, defensively, they have a great record. And also experienced players. With UNAM, you have young, excited players and also goal scorers. But someone must win. So I see this going to penalties.
Okay.
And UNAM winning it because they have just goal scorers. And with penalties, you are on the goalkeeper. So someone must give away.
Someone must give away. Okay, that's a very interesting, bold statement. I think I want to hear Jesse's thoughts on that game. Jesse, I think you and I have been talking about this Mariska for the longest. Very excited for this one. 1.5 million on the table, like we alluded earlier. But yeah, who do you think is coming through between UNAM and Young African?
Well, Brian, we expect teams to fire on all cylinders this weekend because it's do or die. They need to be in the final. And if you look at UNAM and Young African, I think Young African has been the informed team. They are up there on the league table. They have been playing exciting football as well. Not only defensively, but I've seen a combination of good runs and stuff like that. Their team, I think they are one of the teams to beat in the tournament. So coming up against the UNAM, definitely an underdog in that game. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. You know, you can't just bet your money on it because underdog teams coming into that match of such nature are always persistent. They are always trying to make sure that they come out victorious. And obviously, sometimes the team like Young African, the only thing that could save them or could probably give them an edge over UNAM in that match is that if they guard against complacency, they don't need to be complacent. They have played obviously good before they've qualified. They are somewhere on top, second from top. So it's a team that is definitely doing well, obviously with the mixing with the Namibia Correctional Service. They have brought in players that are good. But, I mean, on a day, it's a tie. It's not a match that it's a league game and you're waiting for points and stuff like that. So one needs to win. But I think I'll still put my...
Imagine something so ahead of its time. It was designed to fit in with a future that hasn't happened yet.
Great Scott.
That future is here. Get it.
Well, viewers, apologies there for just going away. Well, we did have some technical issues, but we are back now. Back to my question. I did say Young African. I'm agreeing are winning because of the experience that they do have in the team. My other question is, look, MTC has been involved with sports for the longest of now, investing, making sure that they put back into the community, investing in sports. What do you think that $1.5 million is going to do for the winning team that walks away with all that money?
Everything. You remember the players needs to be paid.
Yes.
We need to remunerate players for the hard work they are doing on the field of play. We normally said whatever the end of the month the players get is the training going to the training. So whatever you put in training and making the first 11, it says this one is committed. Something must come to that. And also the clubs are suffering. You know the transport is not easy. It's going up every second week. You have your accommodation issues. And then you have also players that is starting, players that is unemployed. So sometimes you need to also give extra. So it will change. Maybe they might get the second-hand combi or different transport, or they might get a clubhouse for the teams, because accommodation, you have someone staying here, there, and then it's also costly. So at the end, you have a clubhouse, everyone stays there, everyone eats whatever everyone eats, and then you have also the team building is happening, players know each other better, and then also that goes over to the field of play. So at the end of the day, that 1.5 is money that everyone wants to have.
I think that's very well said. I think that's money that everyone will want to use wisely. We have been waiting for this moment for the longest, and it's International Women's Day tomorrow. And what other way to celebrate International Women's Day tomorrow, if not with Patricia bringing us her lovely, lovely sand. Oh, it looks nice. Boerewors?
Submarine.
Submachine.
I'm very happy, Brian.
It's giving Jesse, hey? It's giving Jesse.
This is a
somebody.
little bit of a messy dish, so I hope our audience doesn't mind getting a bit messy, because it's going to get messy here. It's a lot happening. So we have the marinated boerewors with the, I think they call it a French loaf.
Okay.
With, of course, our tomatoes, onions, we spark our lettuce, put a bit of salt and pepper on it just to give it that little bit of taste. But it's you guys, I've been nibbling behind the scenes too much. And I don't want to get messy on my first day. So you guys are free to taste my first attempt at in the mix frying.
Lovely. Okay, cool. So like they say, woman first. So Julien, please do us the honors, get that big first bite, and then you just tell us what your thoughts are on this one.
It's good. I hope every day is a Wednesday.
Well, we need to celebrate women every day, because I think at the end of the day, women are great. Women are very wonderful.
In the episode of
love you guys. Yes.
Maris Cup here, normally we did that most when we were kids.
Yes, you have to.
Then only you get the
taste.
The taste.
Okay, while we wait for Julien to get her first bite, Jesse.
Okay.
1.5 million. What are your thoughts on that? If you were the owner of a club, let's say Young African was your club, and Jesse, you win the final and you walk away with 1.5 million, what would be one of the first things that you would do?
Brian, first of all, the 1.5 million, I think the interesting fact here is being won just after a round of 16 games to the final, which teams take probably the whole season to win it. What I'm going to do is just improve the club, try and bring it to a professional level. Can we at least eat, man?
That's me.
Okay, let's dive in. I've also been trying to keep my composure, but guys, wow, the presentation is amazing. Patricia, all I have to say is thank you for joining us on In The Mix. I think we've been needing you on this show for the longest, although you've been working in the background, making sure that everything is being done correctly. But Jesse, how do you feel about her joining us on the team? How do you like your sandwich? That says it. That the man doesn't need to say anything.
Put a permanent.
Permanent. But okay, guys, it's International Women's Day tomorrow. Have a good one. And from us and from the In The Mix team, have a wonderful one. Have a good weekend. It is goodbye.